Well, mommy is busy, so let's finish this today. What? Yes. See you tomorrow. When I was on a business trip, I was talking to my husband and daughter on video calls every day. It wasn't until the 5th day that I noticed such a change in my daughter. I had a habit of recording and reviewing the contents of the call. When I looked back at the video call as usual, my daughter was acting strangely. I almost laughed at what she was doing, but when I looked at her expression, her eyes were not smiling, trying to convey something. When I look back at the video of the call so far, my name is Raylyn, 33 years old. It's been 10 years since I worked for a manufacturer. My husband, Daryl, seemed to be a friend of a colleague, and for some reason he was also participating in a drinking party at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm an outsider. I was surprised at first, but it's more fun for a lot of people. That would have been nice. After that, my husband began to appear frequently at drinking parties. As we met many times, our friendship deepened, so it was quite natural for us to start dating. Of course, I think I got married earlier than others. What? You get pregnant? Yes. Well, you did a good job. Now I'm a daddy now. It's going to be a long time before I'm giving a birth. My husband is happy to have a child. At that time, I thought that my life would be good from now on. In fact, after I found out I was pregnant, my husband cared more about me than ever. But that was before the child was born. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little late tomorrow. Tomorrow, too? You often work overtime. I can't help it, a few people have quit recently, so I have to fill in the gaps. But don't overdo it, okay? Since then, my husband has been working overtime more and more. Sometimes he come home smelling of alcohol, and sometimes I wonder if he's really working. However, my newborn daughter, Jewel, grew up quickly, as if it didn't matter. I was amazed at how quickly a child could grow up. And by the time I realized it, she was in kindergarten. Look, Jewel needs to get ready to go to kindergarten too. Okay. Then shall we go? On the other hand, my husband is... What are you doing today? Didn't I tell you I had a day off yesterday? I haven't heard of it. My bad. If it's a day off, I'll ask you to pick up Jewel, okay? Okay. I almost thought he was a child, but I put up with it and went to work. I thought he would never forget the pickup. And when I'm about to go home after work, I notice an incoming call. Hello? Oh, are you Jewel's mother? Yes, how? That's right. I'm at the kindergarten that Jewel attends. The call was from the kindergarten that Jewel attends. From what I heard, it seems that my husband did not pick her up. I immediately contacted my husband. Hey, what are you doing? What? What's the matter with Jewel's pickup? I just got a call from the kindergarten. My husband didn't seem to understand the situation at all, maybe because he was just awake. What's the matter with Jewel's pickup? Oh, I think you forgot. I'll pick her up soon. My husband seemed to finally understand the situation and was preparing for it. And here I will find out. Even though there was supposed to be only my husband in the house, I felt like I heard someone else's footstep. However, he seemed so flustered that I couldn't ask him any more details. After that, it seems that my husband picked up Jewel safely, and I'm going home too. I'm here. Then my husband runs up to me. Sorry for today, I was going to take a break, but don't forget next time. Oh, of course. To be honest, I was more anxious, but I still had no choice but to believe in my husband. However, after that, my husband's behavior did not change, and I began to think that it was useless to say more. Then, one day, something happens that will change my life for... What happened? It looks like you don't have much energy, but... Actually, I tell my husband what happened in the company today. Seriously, but you have a big chance as long as I heard. You should definitely go. Is that so? You should definitely go. Well, even though it's been 2 weeks, I'm worried about Jewel. Then I'll do something about it. I wondered why my husband was so keen on it. As my husband says, it would be better to go on a business trip thinking about the future. And after thinking about it for a while, I will be fine. Good luck with your work. Jewel, that's how I made up my mind with Jewel's words. My husband was also going to help me, so I decided to go on a business trip. and at the hotel where I was on a business trip. Hey, can you see it? I can see it perfectly. Look, come on, Jewel. We were going to have a video call after work so that Jewel wouldn't be lonely. In fact, just looking at Jewel's face will blow away the tiredness of the day. After that, we continued to talk every day. And the next day, when I was on the phone with Jewel, I noticed that she was moving her hands all the time. Jewel, what are you doing? I was told today. Well, what's that? Well, I'm gonna do something with my hands like this, Mommy. Do you know what? I'll think about it too. Then I remembered what I had seen on TV before. Sign language. Oh, that's what the teacher said. Hey, kindergartens these days teach sign language. But it was fun. What did you learn? Say your name in sign language. After that, we continued to talk on the third and fourth days. However, although my husband participated in the call on the first day, the time became shorter with each passing day and finally stopped participating on the fifth. What did you do today? I practiced hiragana today. Wow, that's amazing. It's still difficult. Don't worry, you'll be able to write properly eventually. It was a casual conversation and peaceful. However, on this day, my daughter was somewhat fidgety and I could see that she was restless. Jewel? No, it's nothing. I don't participate in conversations, but I'm constantly looking behind the screen to see if my husband is nearby. The computer that was making a video call was in the living room. Mom, and the moment she was about to speak, my husband interrupted. What were you two talking about? We're talking about what she did today. My husband doesn't seem to be very interested. When I look at my daughter, she looks more tense than before. I could feel her willingness to tell me something. When I was thinking about what I could do, my daughter was moving her hand incessantly. What is it? What's wrong? What? No, it's nothing. Well, you had a very serious look on your face. Thinking that it is dangerous, I pay attention to my daughter again. Then, as before, she was repeating the same hand movements, hiding her hands with her body. But I don't understand the intention of my daughter's actions. Look, Jewel, it's already this time, so let's do it again tomorrow. Yes, and this is how the video call ended that day. But the lonely expression on my daughter's face that I saw just before closing the screen was burned into my mind for a long time and lie down on the bed. I couldn't help but be curious and looked back at the video I had recorded. Then I realized something. I felt like I had seen a similar scene a few days ago. Then, when I looked at the recordings of past phone calls, I found out that my daughter's mysterious behavior was in sign language. And I decided to find out what my daughter wanted to say. Help me, ONG. I couldn't help but speak. My daughter was desperately coming to me for help. How could I not have noticed it? I knew I couldn't leave it like this, so I immediately called her. What's going on at this time? Actually, I told my boss about what had just happened. I understood. I have one son, so I know how you feel. After a moment of silence, my boss made a suggestion. Then I'll give you 2 days, and I'll give you some time. So even if I manage to buy some time, that's about it. Yes, thank you. I don't know what happened, but please go home early. My boss was a woman and a single mother. That's why she understood what I was thinking. That if it were someone else, it would have been impossible. And I'll be ready to go home soon. There are only 2 days left. During this time, we must find out the truth. I'm finally back. I hopped on the last late-night bus and arrived at 6 a.m. in the morning. It was good that I came with momentum, but had no plan from now on. So I contacted my mother, who lives nearby. I'm sorry so early in the morning. It's unusual for you to contact me. Did something happen? I need my mom to help me. I was able to get my mother's help. I don't know what's going on, but I'll do what I can. I'm sorry, Mom. My daughter and grandchild are in trouble, so it's natural. I'll get in touch with Daryl. Thus begins our operation. First of all, my mother went undercover as a spy and had Jewel taken out. I waited at a nearby cafe to wait for my mother and daughter. Next, about 2 hours later, the mother and daughter appeared. Jewel, Mom. I hugged my daughter for the first time in about 6 days. and I heard the truth about that sign language. So why did you decide to communicate in sign language? I thought my dad would be mad at me. Or mad at you. Did he say anything else? Yes. His friends are coming on the day my mom goes to work, so don't leave the room. I will continue with further questions. Is that friend a man or a woman? It was a woman. I see. Typing understood everything. He locked his daughter in a room, and my husband was having an affair with a woman. I didn't expect Daryl to do such a thing. I've been suspicious lately, and I didn't expect it. Did you notice? Somehow. But what are you going to do now? For the time being, I think that if I know the date of the next meeting, I will be able to suppress the evidence. Jewel smiled and replied, he said she'd come back tonight. Really? Yes. This was a great opportunity. I have to go home tomorrow night, so I can't afford to miss this. I'm suggesting to my mother, can you take care of Jewel at your house? That's fine, but what about you? Of course I'm going to stake it out. What? My mother went home once to get her husband's approval. Less than 5 minutes later, she was back. It's totally okay. It's just that. Then I'll take Jewel with me for now. Yes, I'll see you again then. So be a good girl. Good luck, Mommy. I had to decided to ambush him in a park near my house. That said, you never know when you'll find a cheating partner. Still, I will continue to wait patiently, and it was about to turn 17 o'clock. My husband came out the front door. Then I saw a woman in the lobby of the apartment hugging me. Photographed the scene. I immediately photographed the scene. I chased the two of them, and sure enough, they enter. And this is where the real work began. I gently opened the door with the key I had. Then I heard a conversation between two people from the living room. I don't have a daughter today, so don't worry. Really, you don't have to worry about your voice today. Besides, your wife is on a business trip right now, right? If I were her, I don't want a husband like you. What are you talking about, even though you're married too? The conversation between the two was too unbearable to listen to. Of course, the conversation at this time is also recorded perfectly. And while hiding so as not to be caught, I was watching the actions of the two people. Then it's time. Yes. The two of them walked into the bedroom. After confirming this, I approached with a sneak of foot and held up my smartphone. Then I opened the door vigorously. Two people who are frozen in too much event. What are you doing here? Why are you here? You're supposed to be on a business trip, aren't you? I'm back. I heard you're cheating on me. Huh? And I've got a record of everything you guys had just said and what's going on. So don't think you're going to get away with it. Then the cheating partner got up from the bed and ran out of the house as it was. What are you going to do? You can't run away from it. Listen to me first. I don't want to hear your opinion, and I've heard you've done a lot of terrible things to Jewel. It's different. Nothing is different. I'm sorry, but I'm divorcing you. Or I was about to leave the room. Suddenly, my husband tried to take my phone. Hey, stop it. Give it to me now, and if you don't have it, you won't have any proof. It's really a piece of crap that can't be saved. You can't say that. What's wrong with telling the truth to someone who doesn't even understand what you've done? Hey, wait a minute. I ignored my husband, who held me back and left the house immediately. My husband also chased me, but he couldn't do anything about it in his underwear. I went straight to my parents' house. I'm here. Oh, it was surprisingly fast. Well, there are a lot of things. So how did it go? Of course, I had the evidence. All that's left to do is to get a divorce based on the evidence I have taken. However, today I decided to prioritize my time with my daughter. And the next morning, then I'll go back to my business trip. Be careful. Good luck with your work. Thank you both. Then I'll go. That's how I got back to my business trip. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So how did it go? My husband was having an affair. Gee, but I think you can afford it. I don't care anymore. And what's next? I'm thinking of getting a divorce. I see. Then I'll introduce you to a good lawyer, okay? I'm indebted to him. What? Are you sure? I don't mind at all if it's for a cute junior lol. I was really happy to be able to say that to someone I admired. and I came back after a business trip safely. Of course, I came back to my parents' house, not my original home. Mommy, welcome back. Did you make a good girl? Yes, I helped them a lot. After that, I went to consult with a lawyer who was introduced to me by my boss. As he said, he was very polite and the subsequent processing was quick and very helpful. Of course, my husband was not the one to divorce me so easily. I'm sorry for what I've done, so let's start over. I need you. It's too late. I can't start over with you. It's just one affair, isn't it? You can say that a lot when you've seen her just once or many times. Don't you know that there can be no revenge when you say that? What's going on from above? Oh, and I'm not only going to get a divorce, but I'm going to charge you alimony, of course, to your cheating partner. 1 week later, my divorce from my husband was successfully finalized. Alimony is also firmly claimed. I have also obtained information about his cheating partner who ran away that day from my husband, so she will not be able to escape. Also, according to my husband, the other party is also married, so of course my husband seems to be in a shambles. Even so, I didn't have any sympathy for it because it was something I invited himself. So you were able to get a divorce safely. Yes, thanks to you, I got a lot of alimony. Lol, you're bad. But you're convinced, aren't you? Then I won't say anything more. Thank you very much for this time. You're going to keep working harder. On the other hand, we're having a good time with my daughter at my parents' house. Also, I feel that my daughter is smiling more than when she lived with my husband. And I had a mission. Above all, I will protect my precious daughter's jewel.